My name is Matthew Urban, and I make work out of blown glass. I'm a glass artist. I was introduced while I was an undergraduate student studying industrial design in Philadelphia in 1997. I needed to take a class outside of my major, industrial design, and I chose to take a glass blowing class. I guess it inspired me to learn more about glass making, and that got me to the Corning Museum of Glass in 1997, where I took a class with a master named Gianni Toso. Gianni Toso is a master glassmaker from Venice. His family's been making glass for over 700 years. I didn't know what he was doing in that class. That's how oblivious I was to glassmaking, but I knew what he was doing was pretty incredible. And that really inspired me and propelled me forward to learn how to make things out of blown glass. With the class that I took with Gianni Toso, it was pretty amazing to watch him work. He was making all kinds of very sophisticated and complex forms that I didn't understand how to do what it was that he was doing by any stretch of the imagination. However, I knew there was a better way, and that was what started to make me think, well, I should probably find as many people like him that I can and study and work with them. So that's what I did. I would say to somebody who believes that they want to do this, well, go out and do it, and that's going to tell you whether or not you want to do it. And if you get to that point where you're interested, there's a number of different workshops that you can go to and learn specifically glass, not economics and banking or accounting or languages or any of these other things. It's to focus specifically on what you want. If you can get into that situation, then you are going to be around a group of other people that have similar interests, and then you're going to learn about the opportunities and experiences they have, as well as the instructor in the class. You'll get to know them and know how they did what they did, whether it's a piece of glass or how they got to the point that they got to in their career. It's interesting because the last question, there was a series of questions that were written down that I was supposed to look over before we did this. And the last one was, what was my motivation? And it was a difficult question to answer. I suppose my first response to it was, well, my wife and my children and my love of cooking, and those are the things that kind of get me through, you know what I mean? And those are the things that I look forward to. I really enjoy glass making. I enjoy doing that. And I always try and be better at what I'm doing. And I guess that's really the motivation is whether I'm making bread, whether I'm working in the garden, whether I'm trying to help my daughters with something, I'm always trying to do it better than I had done before. And I don't know where that comes from particularly, but I think that you pursuing things that you love to do makes that happen in all the other things you do. So that would probably, I guess the motivation is continue to pursue the things you love. Well, when I first started in art, you know, I would run down every single path I could possibly run down. And I would give my images, the photographs of my work, to different galleries, and I would try all these things. And then every time a door was closed in my face, I really took it hard. And it wasn't until later that I had the perspective to look back and say, every single one of those doors that closed made me stronger. And every single one of those doors that closed allowed me to have the opportunity for a new thing that happened. You know, so I guess the best thing to think about is, you know, or what I would have liked to do is to, a little earlier on in my life, realize that it's not really all that important. All those opportunities and all that emphasis that you put on it, whether it was that girl in high school or whether it was this thing that you didn't get or this opportunity that you weren't able to have, it doesn't really matter as long as you know that everything's going to work out, because it is. Just maybe not the way you thought it was going to. But everything works out. And as long as you continue to do the things you love to do, everything works out. It's pretty amazing. Maybe not the way you thought, but it all works out. You're talking about sacrifice, and I think if you're doing something you love, it doesn't really feel like sacrifice. The only time that it sort of is seen in those terms, as far as I was concerned, is when other people would look at the way I was leading my life. They're like, you're living in a basement, you're living out of a backpack, you sleep on people's couches, you go from here to here to, what exactly is it that you're doing? And at the time, it's really exciting because you're like, well, I'm going to work with this really well-known artist. Are you getting paid? No. But I am watching what they're doing and I'm learning what they're doing, and that is my information, and that's what I take away. So I think if you're doing something you love, you don't really feel like a sacrifice. I said before, everything's going to work out. Is it going to be hard? Oh yeah, it's going to be hard, but it's all going to work out. It doesn't really matter, in my opinion, what it is you do. If you want to become a glassmaker, go work with glassmakers. If you want to learn a language, find some way to be around people that know the language that you want to learn. Whether it's music, whether it's math as a language, whatever it is, gravitate towards the people that know. Yeah, that's what I would do.